Hey everybody, it's Eric the Horror Man, and welcome to my end of the month haul for the month of August. I managed to pick up two Blu-rays. Well, one DVD actually, four Blu-rays, and two soundtracks. So I'm sorry this haul wasn't much, but it was the best I could do. But I am very happy of what I got in the month of August, and I'll show you what I am very happy with that I got. So without further ado, let's get started. First off is a soundtrack that I ordered off of Amazon, and when I got the soundtrack, there was a sticker on front of the packaging saying the longer-rated out-of-print soundtrack, and it is from a Stephen King movie, and that's the soundtrack of Children of the Corn. And the movie is fun to watch, but I never actually paid attention to the music, so I figured I'd get the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is actually not that bad. So I actually end up liking this one. So, Children of the Corn, classic. Next is a soundtrack I definitely had to get because this soundtrack was just awesome. And the movie was a lot of fun to watch, and the songs were just awesome. And of course, when I got the soundtrack, the case was cracked, and the things that holds the disc in place were missing. But as long as the soundtrack plays good, I was happy with it. And that's the soundtrack of Trick or Treat, with the songs done by Fastway. This soundtrack was just awesome. The movie is definitely a lot of fun to watch. I definitely recommend getting the soundtrack. If you have seen the movie and you know the music to this film, definitely recommend checking out the movie as well. So Trick or Treat, very fun soundtrack to listen to and also to have in your collection. Next is a upgrade I end up getting in the and I found this over at Big Lots for $5, and that's the Riddick collection, where it's got two Blu-rays, one for Pitch Black and the other for the Chronicles of Riddick, and one DVD of the cartoon of Dark Fury, which is only on for about 35 minutes. I never seen the cartoon, but I had to get because of Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. So the third one of Riddick is good as well, but I had to get the first two just to upgrade it from the DVD to the Blu-ray. So Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick. Next is a couple movies I got from Vestron. I've heard of this movie, I've never seen it, but I figured I'd check it out. And it's from H.P. Lovecraft, and that's Dagon. This movie was actually weird but interesting. Like I said, this was my first time seeing this, and I thought it was not bad, interesting, weirdo, but interesting. Where this couple is sailing in Spain, the next a thunderstorm hits, and they're like stranded in this town. But this town seems empty, but this town doesn't seem to be all what it seems to be because they're being watched by these people, and these people are not actually what you think you call people. They're actually something different. So if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. Next, I definitely had to get this just to complete my collection. This is also from Vestron, and that's Beyond Reanimator, the third installment to the Reanimator franchise. Now I finally have all the Reanimator movies on Blu-ray in my collection, so I'm very glad to have this. And I've seen this movie before where Herbert West is locked up in a maximum security prison, and this young doctor has the serum that he managed to find when he was a kid when his sister was murdered. And now they got the serum, and now Herbert West wants to use it to test on some cellmates. So things just get a little bit wacky and crazy in this movie, but this movie's just a lot of fun to watch. All the Reanimate movies are very good and fun to watch. Next, I got this off of eBay, and I used to have this movie on tape, and I remember seeing bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember much of it. but I had to get it, and it is from Wes Craven, and that's Mind Ripper. In other words, The Hills Have Eyes 3. This movie was actually very fun, and I thought Lance Henriksen did a good job as always, like he does in all of his movies. So this one was basically um where Lance Henriksen is a character plays a scientist is like determined to create this monster, but the soldier they were working on ends up passing away, but then the soldier somehow gets brought back to life. If it and it now it's got like a thirst for human blood. So Mind Ripper, The Hills Have Eyes 3, very fun movie to watch. I definitely recommend checking it out. And last, I got this movie on DVD. I wish this movie would get a Blu-ray release. And I know that the DVD is out of print, but I was surprised that eBay was selling it for a very good cheap price. And I had to get this movie just to have in my collection because this movie was just so much fun to watch, and I seen it twice off of YouTube now, and that's Trick or Treat. You do see small appearances by Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, but this movie is just so much fun to watch. I definitely recommend checking this out if you haven't seen it. Like I said, it's the same thing as the soundtrack with all the songs done by Fastway, where a teen who's a complete metalhead, and when he finds out that his favorite rock star dies in a hotel fire, he picks up this record that's unreleased, never heard of it, but when he plays the record backwards, he ends up getting messages of him telling him what to do. And with Halloween approaching, turns out the dead rock star plans on coming back to rock out at the high school Halloween party, so now the teen has to find a way to put a stop to him. So, Trick or Treat, I definitely highly recommend checking this out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Also, check out the soundtrack as well because the songs are good and the movie is just so much fun to watch. Alright, guys, so that's my haul for the month of August. Again, sorry it wasn't much, but I did the best I could. But like I said, I was just glad of what I got, especially with the soundtrack of Trick or Treat and the movie as well. So, what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more videos. Later.